Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today is raining, so I'm trying to figure out how to get this highlight repositioned on the other side of the silo. So I can't do anything up there, but I'm trying to get a head start on it. So what I did is I did some measuring. The one that's up there is a lot smaller than the one I'm working on. So I'm trying to figure out how to get this one to work. So I'll show you what I'm doing. So this is the new one that I'm going to be using, and this is the cap for it. My original plan was just to take this up to the top and just take the highlight out of the old one and just put the plate on it and bolt it down, but it's smaller. This one is, let's see, 13.5 inches wide. The other one is 11.5 inches, so it's quite a bit smaller. It's not going to work. So now my plan is to put this with this. I got a coupler here. I've already measured out where I want the hole, and I'm going to put this in there. I'm going to weld around it. So this is 2 inches tall. So what I did is I got some 1/2 inch pipe and I just laid it down flat, and I made a mark, and it puts me about right where I want it, so it's evenly spread out. And doing it on the table here, it'll be flat. So here's how a highlight works. So this is the highlight. There's a long rod that sticks out like 2 feet, depending on if it's a low light or a highlight. So since this one's a highlight, it sticks out like 2 feet, and it's got a paddle on the end of it. When the cement starts filling up the silo, it fills up until it reaches this paddle, because it spins, and it stops this, the guts inside, and it sends a signal to the side of the plant to let the bulk drivers know when to shut their truck off, so they don't overfill the plant. The Zonar ones that I showed you in the previous video, those only work for the batch plant operators, because it has a box on the inside and it tells them the percentage of what's in there. This one, it pretty much does the same thing, but it lets the driver know when to shut their truck off, because the Zonar ones doesn't do that. So we have to have these. So I have to go and reposition the bin indicator away from the pipe that we're going to be using, kind of like what I explained on my other video, before this one. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go ahead and go get my truck. I'm going to bring it around so I can get my plasma cutter out, my welder, and I can get this cut out and hopefully weld it up. All right, I went ahead, got my plasma cutter out, and I'm going to get that hole cut out. So I got it set up here. I'm going to get you guys set up on my little makeshift tripod here so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Probably going to be a little loud. So I only want this hole just big enough for this, so I won't have a big, huge hole to fill. I just kind of want to stay on the inside of that white line. Get this put back on my table over here. I think that's going to work out just fine. Not a whole lot of gap to try to fill in, and it sits down there about halfway. Just clean up the edge and like that. Let me go ahead and go get my stuff shut off and get my welder and bring my welder in here. I went ahead and took the grinder, just kind of ground out the top a little bit and the back side. So set that in there and set you guys up. You guys can watch me weld it. Well, not too bad of welds. Now I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna flip it over and weld the other side. That way I can make sure it doesn't leak. Alright, it's perfectly flat. So let that cool down for a bit. I don't think that's going to leak. Alright, I'm going to show you guys how this bend indicator thing works. So we're going to have a 1/4 inch rod that gets connected here with a keeper through it. And then when that's in there, what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're just going to screw it to this. Man, it looks like there's a lot of mice has been living in that hole. Anyway, so we're just going to spin this on here like that, and then the power wire is going to go in, and then once that's in there, so you have the long 1/4 inch rod sticking out, then we'll take another 1 1/4 inch piece of pipe and we'll just screw it to the bottom of those threads right there. That way it's sticking out like this, and then the paddle is going to be sticking out that couple inches below that. So the reason why we have this pipe in there is kind of protect the bottom of the bend indicator in case we need to tear it apart again. It'd be easy to change. I'm just going to go ahead and shut the video off here. Whenever we get a nice day again, I'll take you guys up to the top and all my tools, and we can get the top of that silo cut out and get this mounted. So I'll see you in a day, hopefully. Welcome back. I'm getting back on the moving this bend indicator on top of this silo. It's been a week since the last time I started on it because of the rain, so it's pretty nice out here. So what I'm going to do is take some measurements of the bend indicator and try to figure out where it's going to go on this side. I might have to go get some pieces to extend this longer because it has to go straight. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my grinder, and I've got all my stuff out ready to go. So I'm going to get my grinder with a wire wheel on it and clean this spot up right here so I can do some measuring and see how far I can go up with it, so I don't have to extend this flange. Alright, I did some grinding with the wire wheel. So this is where I'm going to put it. It's almost flat, but not quite. The further you go down, the more angle it is. And since my flange isn't that tall, I'm going to try and put it up here somewhere so it's flat, because it almost has to be level. So I'm going to draw my mark, do a good grind on it so I get a good spot for so I can weld it. So I'm going to do that really quick. So I got my mark where it needs to go. So now I'm going to clean this up really well, and then I'll cut just on the line and right on this side of the line, so my plate will fit in there nicely. It's got to be as tight as possible. So I got you guys set up so where you can kind of see me what I'm doing. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this bolt up here. That way this piece here, when I cut it out, it doesn't fall in the silo. Perfect. Now I just want it up high enough just to where I can get my gun underneath it and weld it. And I got it packed up, I'll just go ahead and weld it. And I'll bring you guys back when I'm done. Alright, I got it welded up really good. I don't know if you guys can see it, but all the way around. So that's good there. And I'm gonna go down, get some bolts, some silicone, and some tools so I can get that one taken off and get everything put on this one. So let me go down there, get all that. So I just pulled out that bend indicator and that's where it was. And this is what it looks like. It's only about 2 feet tall. You see how it's spinning? This bend indicator is mainly for the bulk drivers. So when the powder gets up to the top of the silo, it stops this and it sends a signal, a light and a buzzer down for the drivers to let them know that they need to stop pumping powder into the silo. So that's why we use these. Like I was saying in the last video, the zonars, those only work from the office. There's a box in the office that tells the plant operator how much is actually in there, but doesn't tell the bulk drivers. So that's why I'm changing all this and putting it over on this side. So I'm gonna take this apart real quick. This cap here, I'm just gonna take it off. I got a cap for that, and I'll put it back on and I'll assemble it on there. All right, so I went ahead and got it all over to this one. Yeah, and this is that rod I was talking about that fell off, or that broke off this and went down and got the auger. So, and then that's the paddle. So it's ready to be bolted on. I gotta get some silicone, put some silicone around that, and bolt that up. And then I have a plug for this one right here, so I'm just going to bolt that back down where it's supposed to be, silicone around it, and I got a plug to plug that hole just in case I need to use it for later. So I'm going to get that done so I can get dusted out here. Alright, well, this is the final move. Everything is buttoned up, silicone, should work just fine. So they got a 2,000 yard pour coming up this weekend, Saturday night at midnight, or actually Friday night at midnight into Saturday. So I got to get down, get the plant all greased up because I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be on vacation, so I'm going to miss that pour. But I want to make sure this plant's running tip-top shape in case, you know, I don't want to have a breakdown or nothing. So this is a view from the pumpkin silo. Back in the distance is Mount St. Helens. And back over there is Mount Hood. Usually you can see them really bright during the day when it's not cloudy. So I really appreciate you guys watching my videos, you know, commenting, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. Peace.